I hope I'm wrong, Bears fans, but the Bears may have a major problem on their hands. Let's talk about it next. I'm Harrison Graham. This is Chicago Bears Now. Do the Bears have a problem at left tackle? Well, one thing we know for sure is they currently do not have a clear solution. And when you don't have a solution to anything in life, that typically means there is a problem. Let's break down how the left tackle position competition, whatever you want to call it, is sitting right now. These are notes from today's practice. Azie Trapillo was getting a lot of reps at right tackle. In fact, all the reps he got was at the right tackle position, which, look, I do think at some point in this training camp, Azie Trapillo was going to need to get reps at the right side. That's where he primarily played at Boston College. So I don't necessarily have problem with that in a vacuum, but is it a little signal of, are they looking at Azie Trapillo as more of the swing tackle? He needs to be getting reps at both sides. Because one thing that is true is that Braxton Jones and Kiran Amegadjie haven't gotten any reps at right tackle, and recently Braxton's been getting more initial reps with the ones at left tackle than Azie Trapillo, so that certainly is something that has caught my attention. Dan Roushar today said they wanted to get him reps at right tackle. That's what they did. Maybe it's just a one-day deal, and they'll have him mostly at left tomorrow, but I do think this is something to monitor. Okay. Braxton Jones today got the initial reps with the ones at left tackle. That's been a theme recently. Last week, that was primarily the case, especially toward the second half of the week. And in the preseason opener against the Miami Dolphins, Braxton played the first three series at left tackle. He got the start and played the first three series before Ozzy started to work in there as well. So that could lead one to believe that Braxton Jones is the favorite at this time, but he didn't play great against the Dolphins, and Dan Roushar was pretty blunt and honest about how he feels about Braxton Jones right now. He talked to the media today and said on Friday against Miami in the one-on-ones, I saw him set with balance, his hips were down, and he used his length. I saw a player we could win with. When I watched him Sunday, and as I told him, he reverted to whatever this is, and that's not acceptable. We have a standard, and we'll maintain that standard. So number one, I love that just the consistent theme with training camp and with this coaching staff is they have a very high standard, and they're not going to lower the bar for anyone. Number two, isn't that kind of the Braxton Jones story? He was a fifth-round pick out of Southern Utah for a reason. He has far exceeded where he was drafted, but there's a lower ceiling there. He's not going to be the most consistent player. He doesn't anchor the best. So, the floor is relatively high there. We've seen him start 40 games. You can win with him, but he's not going to be a consistent, very good player over there. You're kind of hoping he's average, if not a little bit more. So when he describes him there, I'm like, yeah, it's kind of what we've seen for 3 years. Sometimes it looks really good. Sometimes it doesn't. A lot of the times it's in the middle. And that was on display during the Dolphins game on Sunday as well. More to come when it comes to the left tackle competition, but this is why you subscribe. Daily updates throughout camp, good news, bad news, training camp competitions. We're covering it all out of Halisol. Everything that we hear, we bring to you. So turn on those notifications and don't ever miss an episode. Welcome to the competition, Theo Benedet, a.k.a. the Canadian Eagle, for those who watched Hard Knocks last year. He was a UDFA out of Canada, was on the practice squad a year ago, and he has been trending up throughout camp to the point that he has entered the chat, as Gen Z would say, and appears to be in the mix to start at left tackle. He got some reps with the ones today. He got a few reps with the ones last week, even during joint practice as well. And I had someone tell me who was at training camp today that the reps were pretty evenly split between Braxton Jones and Theo Benedet at left tackle. Now, Jones got the first crack at it. Jones was out there when they did the 2-minute drill to end practice. So I think you would give Braxton Jones the edge in terms of who took the most valuable reps today. But it was a pretty 50-50 split between Braxton Jones and Theo Benedet. And we talked about this in our PFF grades breakdown and reaction. He graded out better than both Braxton Jones and Azie Trapillo in the snaps he played against the Dolphins. Now, a lot of those were in the second half, and I don't want to call it garbage time, but against third stringers, guys who probably aren't going to be on the Dolphins roster. But especially as a pass blocker, and that was 29 of the 45 snaps, he graded out as an 81.4, which is very high on PFF's grading scale and allowed 0 pressures. So that certainly caught my attention. Dan Roushar had some positive remarks to say about him as well. He said there's a lot of things to really like about Theo. He's had probably as much improvement as any player we have had in the group. There's a lot of things for him to improve on, and he knows that. He's working his tail off. He's putting himself in position to co-compete for a job somewhere in this group. And, I mean, could you imagine that story if this guy won the job? It'd be a hell of a story. I don't know if it would be something, though, that Bears fans would just be super confident in, right? Like, if out of second-round pick Azie Trapillo, a guy in Braxton Jones who has started 40 games, and Kiran Amegadjie, who was the third-round pick last year, a UDFA from last year out of Canada, is your week 1 starting left tackle, that's a big ask. That would be a big ask. That's pretty brutal if that ends up being the case. And look, if he plays and is awesome, I don't care who wins the job, but that almost would just feel like no one else took the job, so this guy was the best of the bunch. That feels a little bit risky to me at this point in time, but I think it's safe to say he's at least in the mix at this point. All right, guys, today's show is sponsored by Mando. They have awesome products that are going to be keeping the fellas clean and fresh. The whole body deodorant for head to toe, by the way, with their different products. Can get 20% off with code CHAT at shopmando.com. Summer is coming toward the end, which means it's time for final vacations for a lot of folks. I don't know about you, but when I'm packing for travel, I find myself with way too many small toiletry bottles. That's why I started packing smarter with Mando. The Mando 4-in-1 acidified cleansing bar includes shampoo, face wash, body wash, and deodorant, all in one bar. It also includes a shaving lather, so really it's a 5-in-1. Perfect for traveling as it hardly takes up any space. The Mando whole body deodorant stops odor before it starts and is safe from head to toe, not just for your armpits. Whether it's deodorant stick or spray, Mando has you covered with odor blocking and fighting off sweat as well, which for someone like me is very important. The Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers. You get a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like the mini body wash and deodorant wipes, plus free shipping as a special offer for our Bears Now listeners and audience. Use code CHAT to get 20% off site-wide. That's code CHAT at shopmando.com. 20% off plus free shipping, shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them Bears Now by Chat Sports sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits. Smell great doing it. Check out that link and promo code in the comments and description of this video. Okay, last note on the left tackle competition from today. Is Kiran Amegadjie fading away? He obviously missed about a week, did not play in joint practice or in the preseason game on Sunday. He was back out there today. I think he was out there in a limited capacity on Monday as well. The teamwork he got was exclusively with the third team offense. So maybe part of it is a ramp back up after missing about a week. Or maybe he's in 4th place in this competition at this point in time. This started as a 3-man competition with Braxton Jones, Azie Trapillo, and Kiran Amegadjie. It felt like it trimmed down to 2. Now it feels like it's up to 4, and it feels like Amegadjie is the 4th out of the 4 at this point in time. So I don't really know where this goes from here. For all 4 of these guys. I mean, my gut tells me Braxton's the favorite, but I didn't think he played that well against Miami. Early on in camp, it felt like Ozzy was the man to beat for this job, and now your guess would be as good as mine, so I'll ask you, who's going to be the week 1 left tackle? Is it Braxton Jones? If so, type BJ. Is it Kiran Amegadjie? Type KA. If it's Azie Trapillo, type OT, or if you think the Canadian Eagle, Theo Benedet, is the guy, type TB. I will not confidently say Braxton Jones because I don't think any of these guys is running away with it, but I kind of just feel like at this point in time, he's the most likely answer. And I'll say this as well, especially for Kiran Amegadjie, if he is truly behind Theo Benedet, he's your 5th tackle because Darnell Wright's going to start at right tackle. We know that. Braxton Jones, Azie Trapillo, Theo Benedet, if they're all ahead of Kiran Amegadjie, you add Darnell Wright in there as well, that means he's your 5th tackle. So is he in danger of getting cut as a second-year player who was a third-round pick last year? Like, is that possible? I can't rule it out. Are you going to keep 5 tackles? Or do you start doing something I think they should have probably tried earlier in camp and get him some reps on the interior? Because your interior offensive line has some depth question marks. The one good news about all these guys being in the mix at left tackle is you do have some depth at tackle. Like, that's the good news. On the flip side, the interior, while the starters you feel great about, you don't have a ton of depth there. Ryan Bates, you feel pretty good about. Bill Murray, maybe. Luke Newman, maybe. I would maybe try Kiran Amegadjie at guard because I do think he has good strength. I don't know if he has the foot quickness to play left tackle in the NFL. All right, some notes from practice, and then another note from Ben Johnson, and then we'll get out of here. Sounds like Caleb had a good day today. Monday wasn't a very good practice. Sounds like it was kind of lethargic, but today they were back in pads. A little slow to start, but he and the offense picked it up. There were a lot of drops today. DJ dropped one. I think Luther had a drop. I think Komet may have as well. So there were some drops out there, but Caleb was putting the ball in the right spots. They had a good red zone session, which resulted in multiple touchdowns. He had several strikes over the middle of the field, which was a good thing as well. And they won the 2-minute drill situation as well. The offense did. Let them down the field, got into field goal range, hit Rome once or twice, and then Zaccheus, I believe, 3 times. And that continues to be a trend for Caleb Williams in this training camp, is that he likes throwing the ball to Olamide Zaccheus. Like, I said it the other day, and I'll say it here. I think if you added up all the catches in 7-on-7s and team periods from Caleb Williams, Zaccheus would be 1, Rome would be 2. And you know who's not catching a lot of balls in these situations is DJ Moore. I mentioned he had a drop earlier. I know he's working some at running back, so it could be a combination of things, but I do think that's something to keep an eye on because 14 is catching the ball a lot. Colston Loveland's catching the ball a lot. Komet's getting some targets. Rome Odunze is. You're not hearing a lot of DJ from Caleb Williams, so the one time we heard it today, he dropped the ball, so obviously not ideal. Last note here, Caleb and the starters are playing on Sunday night, so round of applause if you're excited for that. They obviously sat the starters in the opener, but Ben Johnson said today that he and all healthy starters will play. He said, last week and throughout camp, I've been consistent about reps are the most important thing to get him up to speed. With the plan we had a week ago, we were able to get somewhere between 80 and 100 more reps than we were able to had he played in the game. This week is a different schedule, different length and time in terms of in-between games and all of that. Our plan right now is guys that set out last week will play this week. And look, I'm excited. I understand both sides of the coin. I don't think preseason matters a ton these days. I think it matters a little. I think any rep can help, especially in a stadium with a lot of fans in the crowd, obviously making noise, getting the play in, spitting it out to your teammates. You are learning a new offense. I think that stuff matters more than the actual plays you're running because these teams are pretty vanilla in the preseason. They don't want to give anything away. But I am excited to see 18 go out there, the starters, and see what this looks like for the first time against the Buffalo Bills. We'll see if the Bills play their starters, but that seems to be the plan. Obviously, Friday is a joint practice as well, so another good opportunity for this group. All right, if you're excited to watch the starters on Sunday, I certainly am. Type me down in the comments below. Should be fun. Last game of week 2 of the preseason, Sunday night football. I think we get the full NBC crew as well. It's kind of their preseason trial run as well. So that'll be exciting. And we will, of course, be live for all of it. My name is Harrison Graham. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully someone emerges in this left tackle competition. Be sure to subscribe and bear down.